Well, hey friends, and welcome back. I don't know about you, but I've definitely been feeling the spring cleaning bug. Just want everything to feel fresh and new. I've actually been doing a major deep clean of our house over the past few days, probably going to carry that on a few more days till the entire thing is sparkling and new. But today I want to take a break from cleaning and to spend some time decluttering and organizing my home, because over the past few weeks especially, I've really been noticing some clutter building up. So I figure let's just take some time and do something about it. I want to start with focusing on some problem areas in my home, the places that feel consistently messy. I want to tackle those first, then we can move on to do a general sweep of the house, see if there's anything that we may have missed. I guess let's start with tackling the most disastrous room in our house first, my office / our guest bedroom. This honestly might be the messiest any room in our house has ever been. There's just stuff on the floor everywhere. All the surfaces are piled up with things. Yeah, this needs help. So we definitely have our work cut out for ourselves in here. I haven't even shown you the closet yet, which is also a mess. I want to begin just with tidying and kind of getting some of this mess under control. That way we can really figure out what we need to declutter, what we want to organize, kind of go from there. So let's get to it.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona.
Okay, so here's the first thing that I'm wanting to declutter. This chair has served us well for several years, but I don't feel like it really goes in this space, and we don't really use it all that often. It's more for decor, not really a practical piece. So I feel like we can really easily let it go. So I'll probably either donate or maybe try to sell it. Either way though, there is a bit of wear in the center bit, so I want to try deep cleaning it first, see if we can get that out.
Hello, Ramona. I mistook you for a dream. The engine glows, and I guess you always seem to know. Hello, Ramona. I push back the serious feeling. The end's unknown.
Okay, two more kind of larger items that we're going to be decluttering. I've decided to sell both of our old nightstands. They're really too big for this room, and even though this office does double as our guest bedroom, and I am kind of debating if I want to keep the bed in here long term moving forward, the nightstands just don't fit, so we'll go ahead and sell them. We do need to empty them out though first, so let's go ahead and do that really quickly. Move all of this to our new nightstand.
We're all in this, I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be.
Okay, I found a few bits of jewelry and other pieces that I'm going to be decluttering, just stuff that I don't find myself wearing that often.
Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know.
So I just put away everything that wasn't where it belonged, set aside a few items that we're planning on giving to other people. Then that leaves us with a little pile of trash here and recycling. We'll take care of that, as well as a few items that I'm wanting to declutter. So we've got a couple of cord hiders here, which I bought so that I could kind of use them as an example in a video, but I already have duplicates of them. So I'm probably gonna see if we can give those to someone or donate them somewhere locally. I have this very sadly broken picture frame. I stepped on it accidentally and it's pretty shattered. So I think I might try removing the glass and using this for another purpose, but if not, then I'll just go ahead and probably have to throw it out, but definitely going to be removing the broken glass. We have a little Echo Dot here that we don't really end up using a ton because we have 2 Echo Shows already. And then a couple of plants and planters. You guys know I love me some plants, but recently I did kind of come to the realization that while I do love plants, right now I have too many of them. So I've decided I'm going to try to reduce the number of plants that I have in my collection to 25, which is still a lot, but that's going to mean reducing my collection by about 10 plants. I've already given a few away to friends, but kind of been in the process of deciding which of the remaining plants that I have that I want to let go of. I feel like the couple behind me, as well as a couple of the planters that I'm just not going to need anymore, probably the ones that I just don't really have a space for in my house. Because that's really the issue. It's not that I don't love the plants, I just don't have anywhere good for them to go. So rather than just kind of like shoving them all in somewhere and making it feel really forced, I just want to have the number of plants that really fits our space well. Which sadly means saying goodbye to these 3 here, but don't worry, I will try to find good homes for them. So let's deal with and set all of this aside, and then we'll tackle my office closet. Okay, this room is looking so much tidier. I just moved my watercoloring project to the desk, which will be so nice being able to work on that while looking out the window. One last thing that I did decide that I wanted to declutter in this room is this rug. I just don't really feel like it goes in here at this point. The jute just really isn't, it just doesn't work with the vibe of the space. So I'm probably going to try, again, getting the stain out of that. I have a little carpet cleaner that I recently got, so see if that works. But then, yeah, probably donating this guy. So let's roll this thing up, get it ready to donate. Okay, going to have to vacuum this whole area later, but it's looking good. So next up, it's time to tackle my closet, which, again, honestly, I guess it doesn't look that bad, but up here, super rough. And then down here, we just have a pile of stuff we need to take care of too. So plan of attack, I think I want to start with just figuring out first what I want to declutter, what's not necessary, because I know there are some things in here. Then we can go about organizing what's left over. We already have a pretty decent organization system in here, it just needs a bit of a reset.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all, I had a feeling but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all, I had a feeling but the feeling is all gone.
So we are looking a lot better in here. Let me show you. So starting off with the floor, you can see that we were able to completely clear that. Then with the shelves, we were able to go through to declutter the baskets, really straighten and neaten them up a bit, as well as really just make sure that everything in here is intentionally placed, is all organized. We're also able to clear the surface minus a couple of bits of decor. And then up here, we didn't really touch this section because I went through this bin as we were going through all of the items on the bed. But then for our bedding, we were able to really streamline that. We had way more than we needed. And then I just stuck the little case that was on the floor before right in this corner. That left us with quite a bit that I want to declutter, as well as a few things that I just want to move around a bit and keep in a different place in our house. So on the decluttering side of things, I have some camera equipment here that I don't use all that often, some extra bedding. We have 2 duvet covers as well as a sheet that we really just don't need. We have more guest bedding already than we can realistically use, so I'll be going ahead and letting go of the excess. I have some paper clutter here, and then a planter. Unfortunately, while I really like this planter, it's one of those ones that's meant to hang from the ceiling, and in our house, I feel like the ceilings are just a little bit too high to where hanging planters really, I just don't feel like they work in this space, so I'll try passing that on to a friend. And then I also have 2 curtain rods. Honestly, we just need to get these hung up, put curtains on them. This is for my office and Christopher's. So once we have that, we can get rid of the packaging. Then I also have a bit of mailing packaging too. And then right here are some books that different friends have lent me. I want to move these to the sidebar in our entryway. And that way there's just no confusion of, here I'm kind of scared that I'm going to mix up some of my books with the ones that I'm borrowing. Don't want that to happen. So I think if we just keep these in a separate room, that will really help. So let's take care of these bits now, and then we can finally move on to the rest of the house. Okay, so the next space that I really want to focus on is our kitchen and living room. And in this area, it isn't really so much one specific thing that's just causing me a bit of a feeling of overwhelm, but there are a number of smaller cabinets, drawers, and things like that that are just messy, disorganized, and that probably we have a number of things we can declutter from. So let's just go through this place drawer by drawer and see what we can do to inject some order into it. Okay, first 3 rows of drawers down, and we have a whole bunch of paper clutter that we came across. A yo-yo, which I don't even know how we got this. Empty paper bag, a fork from our old cutlery set, which we no longer have. And then we have a little bullet. I think this is from a Nerf gun. Some more paper clutter. And then a 90% empty tube of Rub and Buff, which I just don't think is worth holding on to. So not bad for 3 drawers in. Let's keep going. Oof, okay, this drawer needs some love. I don't know how it's always this one that becomes a disaster, but yikes. So I still wouldn't say that it's perfect in here. This area probably would be a really good candidate for the organizing messy spots in my home series that I've done a couple videos of in the past. Might need to focus on this one in one of those just to find some better solutions, but it does look so much better in here. We've taken out a ton of bits that didn't belong, decluttered a bunch, and then I've tried to kind of organize what's left into just kind of a few different areas. We have all of our entertaining supplies here, candles up here, some miscellaneous bits on the shelf here, and then in this corner, as well as a few backstock items. So looking good, we're on a roll here. Let's keep this up. In the process of organizing my tea cabinet, I found a ton of samplers that honestly I just forgotten that I had. So while I don't want to strictly speaking declutter them, I do want to consume and to go through them. So what I'm going to do is just leave them out on our counter for the next week or so, just to make sure that I'm reminded to actually drink them. I have a lot of tea every single day, at least 3 or 4 cups. So I think within a week we should be able to go through them all, but rather than just, throwing them out, which would be such a waste, I just want to really make a point of actually drinking them. And then I did also just refill a couple of the tea canisters that I have currently. So we have these empty ones we can just throw away. There we go. Okay, so here are the results of the rest of our decluttering in here. First, I found a food storage container with no lid, so that's not going to be too much help. Found an empty candle, a mug. I actually have 2 of this one, and I just don't feel like I really need to. There are other mugs that I tend to reach for more, so I'm actually thinking I might try gifting this one to a friend, maybe with some tea. I think that could be really cute. And then I think this is a tray for like a veggie tray that you buy at the store. I don't really know, but I found it in our cupboards. We don't need it. And then also just a bit of packaging. So not bad for the kitchen, although I will say I do know for a fact that our fridge and pantry are both pretty desperately in need of a good declutter and organization. It's gonna take a very long time though, which I think is outside of the scope of this video, so I'll probably save that for another time. For now though, let's go ahead and move on to the living room. Once we take care of this, of course. Okay, so I found one board game that we're going to declutter, but then also I was just thinking as I was going through all of our games, you know, we have a lot and we play them pretty frequently, but they're just like so inconvenient to store. There are a lot of expansions that we have and things like that that just take up so much space, and there has to be a better way to kind of condense the actual playing pieces that we need into a smaller space. Like right now, there's probably 10 games and it takes up this massive area. I don't know, that might be something that I need to look into. If that's something that you guys have ever done, you know, condensing games or finding a way to make expansions all fit into one box, things like that, I would love any tips or advice that you have. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me why you need a massive box to store games that take up like 30% of the space. Okay, then the last thing that we'll be decluttering in here are these 3 plants. This one right here, I actually already have spoken for by a friend. And then I'm going to see if anyone wants these other 2. And that should get us pretty close to that goal number of 25. Before we move on to our bedroom and bathroom, let's take a really quick pass through the mess that is our laundry room right now. There's a bunch of stuff here that I just need to go through. Some of it I've already set aside for decluttering. All of this, maybe it just needs to be washed. I don't even know. I want to tackle this quickly. So it now looks a whole lot better in here. I did just leave this one pile of clothing right here because I'm going to be doing a clothing swap with some friends in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be the perfect opportunity to pass some of these items on to new homes. And for the rest of the items, I just brought them here to our entryway. And these are all things that we're either going to be passing on or throwing out. The first of which is this pair of pants. We'll be donating these. They're Christopher's former pants. They just don't fit him anymore, but yeah, it's going to be a girls only clothing swap, so just going to donate those instead. Then we have some food items that I've been meaning to take to the food pantry. Just need to actually make that happen. Then right here we have an ironing board that is broken. So this little bit right here always comes undone. It's supposed to have a little hook there, and it doesn't. And it also, as you can see, is not very good quality either. Oh, now it's just completely falling. So this thing is pretty broken, pretty banged up. I think we just need to get a new ironing board. And then we also have some towels here that are extremely worn out, very yellowed and stained, and I think they've just kind of reached the end of their life. So again, that's another successful area that we've decluttered, but now let's wrap this up by taking some time to focus on our bedroom, bathroom, and closet. And actually, when I say that, I really just mean our bathroom and closet, because if you haven't seen it yet, we did recently redo our bedroom. I'll link the video somewhere up here, but because of that, there really isn't much in here. We haven't even filled out the drawers in here yet. Still deciding if I want to move some of my office supplies in here, since I do quite a bit of filming in here, or if we want to actually use the dresser for clothing. Still deciding what we want to use all the drawers for, but literally there's very little in here. So probably just gonna skip over this room entirely. Let's focus on the bathroom and closet. Because yeah, the drawers in here are just totally unused right now. There's a lot more to deal with in here though, so let's give this space some love.
You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say, you're the rose in a garden, and it
So a bunch of things that we're going to declutter in here. First up, I have some bits of packaging as well as a ton of little lids. I don't know why those always just seem to accumulate in here, but got several of them. Then I'm also going to be decluttering a few of these hair ties. I think this actually might be the first video you guys have seen, but I recently got several inches taken off of my hair and I can barely put it in a ponytail, which means that I really have just no use right now for these really large, thick hair elastics. Still have several smaller ones that I've held on to, but the larger ones I just don't have enough hair for at this point to have a need for, and I think we'll see, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to keep my hair pretty short for at least a few years now, so I'm just not sure if I'll ever need them again. And then, okay, other things that we are decluttering, I have a bunch of empty travel size products as well as a little micro exfoliant. They're just all things that I've used up, or in the case of this guy, it just did not work well at all for me. Then last couple things are a couple hair ties, hair products, things like that I'm just not going to need now that my hair is shorter. All right, and that brings us to the final space that I want to go through today, the closet. And I'm going to save going through all of my clothing again for another video. It's typically something that I like to do when I do my wardrobe switchover, which probably won't be for a few more weeks, but I do know that Christopher's been going through some of his things recently, set some things aside, and I just also want to go through some of the non-clothing items that we have in here, see if there's anything we want to declutter. I've had a couple of things in here, and the first and probably the biggest is this suitcase. Last year we decided to upgrade Christopher's suitcase so he could have one with the spinning wheels. I just find that they're a lot easier, especially when you're in airports and things like that, to travel with. So we got him that before our New Zealand trip, but that makes it so that we now have this third suitcase that we're probably never going to use. Christopher and I typically both travel each with just one carry-on, so don't really have a need for this guy, so probably going to donate this, maybe give it to a family member, because I think there are a couple of our siblings and stuff like that that have actually mentioned wanting a suitcase, so we'll see for that one. But then I have a whole bunch of Christopher's clothes that he's been setting aside for the past couple of months now. This is all stuff that he has either completely worn out of and has holes in. This pair of pants I know has like 3 pairs of holes, which is crazy. And then a couple of the items are just things that he doesn't wear as much and aren't really his style. So we'll be donating what of this we can and then probably just getting rid of the rest. Okay, but now we've done some good work. I think this is a good spot to call it for the day. But before I go, let me show you everything that we've decluttered. So I've just got everything all lined up along this wall section right here. We've got all of the items from the closet that we just went through, a whole bunch of just different bits of paper clutter, things like that, things that I'm going to be gifting to friends, just a bunch of stuff here. I need to kind of sort through what we're going to be gifting, donating, recycling, all of that. We've got some larger bits of furniture here, some of the items from the laundry room, and then in here, a whole bunch of stuff that we all got from the office and guest bedroom. So right now I'm going to start taking care of this mess. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed coming along today as we decluttered and organized my home, that this really gives you some inspiration and motivation to do the same thing. That's everything that I've got for you in today's video. So until next time, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope that you have a lovely day wherever you are. I'll see you soon.